Behind me is the 1300 block of Stockton Street, and that's where I was raised. I lived at 1341 back in the day.
It's a little bit different than when you grew up, though.
A whole lot different. I'm in love with Sandtown, Winchester, and I love the fond memories that it brings me. We would have picnics at the square up here many years ago. Of course, you're seeing a lot of vacancy around here. This community had a population of 40,000 when I was growing up, and that was in the 50s, and it's now down to 10,000. I stayed in this community because I have a deep passion for the poor and the plight of the poor. I don't think that anyone should be suffering the ills of poverty. If you would talk to most of the residents here, they all would agree that the use of illegal drugs and the sales of illegal drugs is the #1 factor that brought the destruction of our community.
We're in an area in between Sandtown and Upton that there are many women that are addicted to substance abuse. It could be 20 degrees and they're out walking the streets trying to buy the fix that they need.
You see the people wandering around on the streets, you can see it on their faces. We have a lot of kids that are in our school that have parents that are struggling.
We've lost many friends, and many homes were broken. Something had to be done.
Elder Harris has always wanted to do something for his community.
The Word of God inspired me to work and to establish a holistic ministry and to get this building on the corner.
When Elder Harris and the church originally got 1928 Pennsylvania Avenue, he thought that it would be a center for arts with music and dance. And over time, the vision changed from what maybe a personal preference of Elder Harris's was to really what was the need of the neighborhood.
The idea of Martha's Place came about at a NA meeting.
He met a young lady who walked the streets here on Pennsylvania Avenue.
When I asked the question, what could I do as a community leader in support of those who are suffering with the addiction of drugs?
The young lady told Elder Harris a place for women.
There was already a facility for men. There were none for women for transitional long-term recovery. And so Elder Harris made this facility for women.
Through the organization of Newborn Holistic Ministries, we were able to establish Martha's Place through the help of community residents and resurrected this building.
The renovation of Martha's Place began in 1996, just one day a week. Every Saturday for several years, Elder Harris, myself, and some other volunteers would meet and we would work on the building.
I remember coming and we actually had stairs. And Todd Marcus would say, this area, the area you're standing in, is the kitchen. It was awesome.
Through our own close supervision of the project with our volunteer network, we were able to ultimately get this building completely renovated.
No longer was this an abandoned, vacant building, but this was actually a dream starting to come into a reality.
So the cry that I had was, mountain, move out of my way. The mountain of drug addiction is going to move out of our way. Drug addiction will never be heard anymore in the communities of Sandtown, Winchester.
Well, the program for Martha's Place started the day after dedication because there was a lot more work to be done.
Martha's Place support women who are overcoming their addictions by providing them a safe haven where they can enter back into society. I think it is very important that transitional housing be placed in the community where the residents primarily reside.
It's important for us to be here because this is where the women will be coming back to live. And so if they can beat their addiction right here on this corner, then we think that they're really going to be strong.
In order to become a resident, a young lady has to have gone through 28-day intensive detox or 30 meetings in 30 days.
So ladies come here, they have an interview with our staff, they interview with the executive director, they interview with the drug counselor. If the staff determines that the person is ready and should be accepted, they finish out their time in that detox center, and then they will come here to Martha's Place.
My feeling is that it's incumbent upon ourselves to try to do more. You know, we're a faith-based organization, and that spirit of servanthood is the driving factor.
We have the opportunity to spread the gospel, either through song, through spiritual growth class, early morning services on Sunday. All of this opens doors for these young ladies. They have a place that they can release and unwind and know that it's all right.
We have, with Martha's Garden, this return of a beautiful green space to the city urban environment.
It is a meditative garden that allows the women to take time out for themselves, and it actually gives them an inner peace.
Martha's Garden has just truly been an asset to our community. It serves as this contrast to the intense traffic and activity that is on Pennsylvania Avenue.
And so often people says it's like an oasis in the desert. One of the areas that Martha's Place help women is through providing structure for them.
And that involves them going to their meetings every day. This involves them meeting with our drug counselor, taking care of their addiction.
When you come here, it's just not a place for you to lay your head, but you're going to have to work. You're going to have to save your money. You're going to have to pay rent. You're going to have to do chores, because eventually, in working with the ladies, we'll be able to mainstream them into their own places, and they'll have to do these things.
We've added permanent housing to Martha's Place, which has responded to a need by our graduates of having long-term independent environment where they can go to live once they graduate from Martha's Place.
The women will be able to apply what they've learned in the 6-month structured program, take it with them, and put it to use. They have a key to the front door, a key to their bedrooms. They share the kitchen, they share the living room. They're able to work together as a team, just like they did here at Martha's Place. I hope that the long-term housing will eventually lead them to home ownership.
And the other benefit of this permanent housing is that the rent revenues that the ladies are paying goes back into the operations of Martha's Place.
Martha's Place has an alumni association called Martha's Angels. We have our graduates who've completed the 6-month program become members of that association. We meet on a monthly basis to share and come up with different plans and strategies on how we can continue to help Martha's Place.
One area is advocacy. They're able to spread the word about Martha's Place and hopefully encourage other women who are struggling. The Alumni Association has also been a great supporter financially. They have put on various activities to raise funds. The other area is in giving back and working with the women that are currently residing at Martha's Place.
My using took me from owning my own car and transportation business to abandoned homes, living on animal level.
I started off being a functional addict. At least I thought that's what I was being, you know, because I was still working, but I was still using.
It affected my family. It affected my job.
I was miserable. I was lonely.
Empty, lonely, less than a human being.
It had gotten to the point where I didn't even want to wake up in the morning.
Really, I just wanted to die.
So I decided after this, something has to give.
Normally I get up and go get my blast, but this particular morning, I didn't do that.
Kim and Deborah were residents that came in from 2 separate detox facilities. They both set a goal, and that was to become Martha's Place first graduates.
Martha's Place is a ray of hope for me. I see a whole lot at the end of the tunnel, you know what I'm saying? I feel it's worth going through the 6 months for the benefits that you reap.
It's helping me spiritually. I need that spiritual foundation right now. You can't just recover with NA by itself.
It's just full of love. It's teaching me structure, discipline, you know, things that I need.
Like attending meetings, getting a sponsor, networking with people, other addicts that you could talk to and they can understand where you're coming from.
They're just building my confidence and self-esteem. I feel good about myself. I feel like I can just go get it, you know, like I was before.
Every person that comes through Martha's Place, it's a challenge. But these two ladies, Kim and Deborah, set that goal, and in April of 2001, they became Martha's Place first graduates.
And I know he was just me. I sing because I'm happy. I sing because I am free. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know he watches me. Oh, I sing.
What a joy to be able to say to Deborah's parents and to Kim's parents that we're returning your daughters back to you. Because of them, I know Martha's Place can be a blessing to many others. I feel like Martha's Place is a light that sits on a hill that hopefully as the women go by up and down, they'll see that here's a place of refuge.
If Martha's Place can help one woman,
it would say
To those who are suffering,
that if that person can do it,
that they can do it too.
This shows to these women that the program really works.
We are establishing community,
To show that there is still hope, that there is still beauty in our neighborhood.
a community free of drugs.
Through our presence, we are effectively taking back this corner.
I can see us in the future growing to be a big organization.
If we're successful, you know, we can be a model for other neighborhoods.
Other churches, other nonprofit organizations.
Martha's Place is vital in that, in our neighborhood and of course at large for the city.
We're helping to build not only Sandtown, Winchester, and Upton, but Baltimore City, the state of Maryland, and eventually, I hope, across the nation, that there will be help for everyone.